What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for an interesting topic. And it's Openda, but not just Openda, the attackers in general. But Openda is the poster boy of our attack struggling. Is it a flop? Or is he low on confidence? Or like Del Piero is basically saying, it's Tudor, it's a setup, is the idea, or actually the idea that doesn't exist, in this Juve side attacking, that everyone is actually struggling up front. He's getting a lot of stick and heat, Openda, and I think in situations rightfully so. But you need to ask yourself, if we switch an attacker basically every game almost, how can any attacker actually gain confidence and get to know the team, and just get match rhythm and etc, because it fluctuate between playing 90 minutes to 0 minutes to getting 50 minutes in different situations, being up, being down, 0-0, chasing a game. Like it's all hectic and chaotic. So we need to talk about that, and it is an interesting topic because we need every attacker, or at least one at this point, firing, because we haven't scored a goal for over a month right now. That's the reality. So before we get into it, hit the like button, especially hit the like button. It's so important for this channel, and we hit 12k. So thanks everyone who is subscribing. Appreciate that. And let's dive straight into the topic. Okay, so Openda, there is the situation against Real Madrid where some might debate, oh, it wasn't easy, but I've watched Openda. I've watched him, again, people, you might say again, but yeah, he played in the Belgium league, so I watched him. He puts those away, usually, or at least get them on target, and he should be getting those on target. So for me, that was a massive chance, not because it didn't went in, but the way he dealt with that possession, the extra touch, looking around before taking the touch, wasting so much time, giving the Real Madrid defender time to actually come back and block that. That's not because he has no quality, even though I'm not the biggest Openda fan, and mostly because I don't think he fit what we wanted to do, or he fits the Italian league. But the quality, the finishing, his ability is still there. That was not the issue against Real Madrid. The issue was he was low on confidence, and because he's low on confidence, he doesn't take that first time, or he doesn't take that first touch quickly instead of doing it slowly without look at the Mbappe shot in the first half where De Gregori saved it. It was like quick, difficult, but still you need to do it quick, otherwise you have no shot. That Openda didn't do. For me, he's low on confidence. So are other players as well in this team. Like Del Piero said, we can talk about attackers, but he asked the question, like, which attacker is actually playing well? Is it clear what we want to do as a team? Because as a team, we have no identity. So if the team has no identity, how will the strikers, or actually midfielders or whatever, but we're talking about the strikers right now, have an idea what they need to do, what's asked to do, what is the go-to plan, etc. It feels all on the fly. It feels all a bit, let's figure it out on the go, etc. And that's not okay for strikers, especially not the way we play. For example, I'll keep bringing it up, and you guys have seen it as well. And even, ex-players and pundits are saying it as well, that yeah, you can have Yildiz and Zegrova or Conceição who can beat their man. And Capello said, well, Yildiz beats his man almost every single time 1v1, but then it's where it stops. If he doesn't take the shot, it kind of stutters. First half, Yildiz pulls that ball, second half, pulls that ball perfectly across Courtois, and you have Vlahovic not believing in that. And if he just, made that run as he should, it's an easy tap in and it's a 1-0. It's a different type of game, but he doesn't do that because even he is low on confidence. Like a lot of players, all are low on confidence at this moment in time. So I don't want to call him a flop. Actually, I don't want to call anyone a flop this early on in the season, especially not if you're not the main starter. If you get benched for 2 games, then you get 50 minutes. It's difficult to judge a player on that, even though I have made an opinion on him based on what I've seen, and what type of player he is. I'm not going to call him a flop at Juve at this moment in time. But we can all agree it's not looking good individually. And as a unit, it's not looking good. Otherwise, we need to call Jonathan David a flop, Vlahovic a flop, all of them are flops at this point because, well, they're not playing. Like, none of them are playing. At this moment in time, none of them are playing consistently well. You know, like, even to like we switch formation. You know, one day it's okay, we play. Now we're moving with three at the back. You know, at three in midfield, for example. So for me, it's a very difficult situation in my opinion. You know, to judge players rightfully at this moment in time. I don't think it's really fair to call him a flop at this Juve in time. Now, if you didn't think he was a good player or Jonathan David was a good player before they joined the club, then that's a different thing because that's my opinion on Openda, for example. But to call him a flop at Juve, I think it's too soon. I need to see something clicking. Otherwise, I need to call the entire squad a flop. And even though I don't rate the squad that highly individually, they're better. You know, I think a lot of players are lost. Koopmeiners spoke about it, for example. He said, well, I put the blame on myself for not performing, but I spoke to the club and Tudor and I said, I'm not an attacking player. You know, if you play me in those positions, I'm sorry, I will have these type of performances. And he's been very honest with that, but it's also telling that, well, something is wrong because players are not feeling well in certain roles. And you can have one of them maybe, but if you have a couple of them, you get what you get. And if there are no clear guidelines, and that's the, you know, the repetitive team coming out, you know, from the media, ex-players saying all the same thing, saying that, well, there's not clear plan out there for the players. It's all focused on individual brilliance, etc. And if you are focused on individual brilliance as a striker, it becomes difficult. If you have two wingers who need to produce individual brilliance, most of the time they're gonna go for the solo solution, and that's what's happening, and that's what saved us, quote unquote, at the start of the season. But right now is, well, just to say it, putting us in some trouble. Not, you know, deliberately, but just because, well, that's the idea. That's how we want to play right now. And yes, strikers will struggle in this setup, you know, and especially again if they get subbed off, benched, then start, then get 50 minutes, and you know, it's an ongoing cycle of, well, you know, maybe I have a good game, but then I get benched, or I have good moments, I didn't score, but I get benched, I get 50 minutes, or I don't get minutes at all, you know, being a Panda chasing a game against Como. So it's a very odd situation, and I think it is too soon to call him a flop, even for a player who I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think it's really, really fair to call him a flop at Juve, especially not when all of them are struggling, and not just all of them up front in multiple positions as well, you know. But in the comments, let me know what your opinion is on it. And again, you cannot rate him, but based on what I've seen from this on this side, I think it's hard to judge them fairly, in my opinion, for their time at the club. Anyways, let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. Ciao.